Hey crafty cuties, welcome back to my channel, and now it is April, so you know what that means. It is time for another walrus. So there's a lot of holidays in April, surprisingly. Well, there's three that I was pretty much deciding between, and that is Easter, April Fool's Day, and Earth Day. You can already tell by the title of this video which one I went with. I went with April Fool's Day, and the main reason is because Easter isn't always in April, sometimes it's in March, so I figured April Fool's Day is always in April. The thing about Earth Day was I couldn't really think of a good way to represent it in a walrus. Like, it doesn't really have any imagery other than just the earth and kind of nature. So you can see here I did do sketches for each one. I think the Easter one's pretty cute, but like I said, Easter's not always in April. For the April Fool's Day one, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with a clown. I think it'd be fun. I know some people don't like clowns, but I think it'll look cute. I'm not going to make it like a creepy clown, obviously. Next, you can see one of my Earth Days ideas, which is not very developed. It's just got like a sprout coming out of it. And then another one of my Earth Day ideas is a view from the side. I was thinking like the myth of the turtle that carries the world on its back, but it's a walrus. My main issue with that design, even though I think it's very fun, is that all the interest comes from the back of the walrus. So looking at it head on, it would just be kind of blue, because I would think the water is on the front half, and then like the earth is on the back half, where all the flowers and nature would be. Like, I think it's a fun idea, but then looking at it head on, you're not really going to get much from it. So I went with the clown, the April Fool's Day. And as per usual now, I did the walrus beforehand. And fun fact, I taught myself how to crochet the right way. Everything I've done before has been inside out, every amigurumi, but this guy is not. So I wanted to give him a white face. Looking at it now, and looking at it for a while, because I've had it made for a bit now, I wish I had made the white even bigger, just take up more of his face. But I think it's fine, honestly. It got a little crooked too because it's in the round and I didn't anticipate for it. Like, I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know how to change it. But I think it looks fine, honestly. The fact that it's kind of patchy and like crooked just kind of adds to the fact like it's makeup. And I think it's going to look fine. If it was bigger, I think it'd be nice, but I think it's going to look fine as is. I don't have his fins on him yet, because much like with the last walrus, I wasn't sure if he would need sleeves and if I would want to keep the fins off for that. I kind of don't think I'm gonna give him sleeves. I think what I'm gonna do is kind of like I don't know how to describe it, like a dress or a poncho maybe. I think that's what they're called. They're like blankets with a slit cut in the middle for you to put it around your neck. That's kind of what I'm thinking of doing to him. So then his fins will hang at the bottom of it because it won't go all the way down. Kind of like a crop top, I guess, almost. And I haven't given him tusks yet either, mainly because I didn't know what color to make him, because like he's just a normal walrus in face paint, where my other walruses have been like an entirely different color. He's pretty normal walrus color, because I didn't know what color would be associated with April Fool's Day. So I didn't want to make them white because then they'd blend in with the face paint, but if I made them off-white, they would look especially dirty, like unclean teeth. And that's not something I want to go for. So I'm thinking whatever colors I do in the cloak, I might echo in his tusks. And speaking of colors, he also doesn't have a nose, you might notice, because I'm gonna give him a red clown nose, of course. And instead of doing the classic triangle nose, I'm thinking of actually doing a round one. For this hair, I'm doing orange, I think. That's pretty typical clown in my brain. And for the clown suit, I guess I can call it, I'm thinking of doing yellow and purple. I think of clowns as typically wearing rainbow colors and bright colors and like primary colors, but I also think of them wearing complementary colors. And yellow and purple stick out in my mind, like as a clown, like not a traditional clown, but kind of more like a retro clown in my brain. I don't know if that's a reference I'm basing off of anything, but it's kind of what I was thinking of. And I think yellow and purple also help tie in spring, which is also greatly associated with April. So I might do the tusks in these colors or darker or lighter versions of these colors. I'm kind of just hanging off on the tusks because I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I feel like if I do the tusks in these colors and then the cloak's like right there, it might blend in a bit, but I'm also planning on doing like a frilly clown collar. I really want to do that. I think it'd be really fun. I think it'd look really cute in it. My only thing is I have no clue how to crochet that. Like, I have maybe some ideas, but I don't really know how to do it. I wouldn't even know how it's like sewed, so I don't even know if I can base my reference off of that. I might have to do a bit of research to figure that out. And I think I would do that just in an off-white or like an even paler yellow and purple. I don't have a paler purple, but I might have a paler yellow that I can do it off of to keep it in the color scheme. But as opposed to my last two walruses, this one's not going to be monochromatic, so I don't know if I'm going to be as concerned with that. I think these colors are typically seen in white or very pale colors, so that's what I think I'll do. I think I'm gonna start with the hair because I think that might be the most straightforward thing. Right now he has an afro in my sketch. Another thing is like kind of side afros. I don't really know what it's called. Just like hair that kind of goes out to the sides, kind of like antenna with like no hair on top, so he could wear a hat. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do afro. I'm gonna do hat. I'll look at some more clown pictures and get back to you. But I think I'm gonna start with the hair. I know I said I was going to do the hair first. I did the nose. I think it looks really cute. But the more I think about it, I feel like I can't do the hair first. I am deciding between if I want to do this kind of hair with a bowler hat or like an afro. I'm leaning towards bowler hat. So if I was going to do that, I would want to do the bowler hat first, so I know how big it is, where it sits, and then I'd make the hair accordingly. But I think I also need to do his collar first, the more that I think about it, because like if I don't know where his like neck is indicated to be, I don't know where his hair, like the lower bound of his hair is, and I don't know where his cloak, jumpsuit, clown suit, whatever. I don't know how long that needs to be because I don't know where it's gonna start. So even though it's a thing that I have no clue how to make, I think it has to be the thing that I do first. So I have this off-white here. I think I got it from the Dollar Tree. I think the color contrasts good enough with the white of his face. With the light shining on it, it's maybe a bit, yeah. You can kind of see, like, it's still white, but it's not like super stark white. I have an idea of how this is gonna work. So I'm going to do like a chain long enough to fit around where I want it to be, and then I'm gonna like connect it, make it a loop, and do singles. And then I was looking into it and I saw a ruffled edge pattern, but this was for like finishing off a piece, so it was like an edge stitching. So I'm not sure if it's gonna work, or if it does work, I'm not sure if the ruffles will behave like I want them to. But it was basically just working 4 double crochets into every stitch, and I guess because they're so clustered, they have no choice but to like wiggle just to all kind of fit. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Okay, so I have this chain here. It fits around him, and honestly, just like this, it kind of already gives the vibe. So I'm really hoping that the ruffle works. And if it doesn't, maybe I could just make this like a sheet and then scrunch it. This is 54 stitches, so that's gonna be 54 times 4, that's gonna be 216 double crochets, which is a lot. So we're hoping it goes. So I'm just gonna start. It might be hard to remember my place, but if anything, I think it's not a big deal if not each of them has 4. I think it'll still give us a similar effect if it's going to work. It probably won't start looking all roughly till we've got a lot. How do you guys feel about April Fool's Day? I always hated it. I never liked it. A lovely theme of me just making walruses about holidays that I never enjoyed. But I just like, in grade school, like elementary school, I always dreaded April Fool's Day. I knew people were going to be making dumb jokes. I just never looked forward to it. But it's kind of like a non-thing anymore. Like, normal people don't do April Fool's stuff. Maybe like brands or companies or games make little joke tweets or joke things, but it's not really an issue anymore. It's a really silly holiday. I don't really even know where it comes from, but I never liked it. I never liked to participate in it. I can't tell you a single prank I've ever pulled. I'm not that kind of person, I guess. You know, I just figured clown would be the cutest little walrus to go with, and I think so far I'm correct because I love the little nose, and that's all it takes. You can see him peeking at me. Okay, so far I can see it ruffling and curving. So I'm feeling good about this, actually. I did not anticipate it to work, honestly. But I'm seeing some curvature in it. This is nice because I thought this would be the hardest thing to do. I'm pretty sure I finished this. It kind of shrunk, I think, when I did it. Also, I realized that I should have changed 2 when I started them, because then at the end it was kind of like diagonal, but I think I made up for it by adding a few more double crochets and slip stitching. Oh, it does seem like it still fits on them. Let's see. Oh, wow. Oh, he looks so handsome. Look at that. That worked super well. That's kind of crazy. I don't think I'll stitch it down yet because you can see so much between like where certain ruffles are that I think I'll want to sew down the clown suit and then put this over top. But that worked super well. I definitely suggest this method if you want a ruffle. So yeah, I'll just finish that off and leave a long tail, get around to sewing it one of these days. So I think I've come to the decision that for his little hat, I am going to keep it the same colors as I'm gonna make his cloak. I still don't know what I'm gonna do for the teeth, or the tusks, I should say, because if this is the same 2 colors as the cloak, and then the teeth are the same 2 colors as the cloak, I think that might be a bit much of the exact same colors. If they had variation, I wouldn't mind. Like, if I use the lightest colors for the tusks, that'd be fine, and then like a darker for the clothes. I think that's what I'd want to go for. But I don't have a lighter purple than this, and I don't think I have a lighter yellow than this. I think these are my lightest too. Maybe let me look at my second lightest and see if I'd go with those. I think I like the light pastels. Okay, I can see that I do have a yellow that's lighter, but I don't think I have a purple that's lighter. I think I might actually change my purple now that I'm looking at it, I should say. Because these 2 together are very spring, very pastel. But I think with the darker purple, even with the same yellow, it brings it more into a more pigmented clown area. Even though yellow and purple are not typical of clown, I'm going with it anyway. I think like the more vibrant, kind of more saturated color is a bit better for something like a clown, something that's more saturated. And then I have this light purple and that light yellow in the background that I can use as the tusks if I want to, which I'm still not sure yet. I feel like I probably will, but I'm not sure. The only thing I'm unsure of, this is my laptop, by the way, doing a bit of research. So many of these clowns are wearing red. So many of them. That I'm just wondering, do I need to put my clown in yellow and red? And I think the answer is no, I don't want to, and I won't. I think I'm going to do the hat primarily purple with a yellow band, because I think the purple will look nicer next to the orange than the yellow will, because that'll be a bit too samey. But since they're analogous, I think it'd be weird. So I think the purple next to it is going to look a bit better, and since it's mostly purple, the orange hair will build nicely off of that. So I'm going to build it with my tiny hook, and I'll probably write down the pattern as I go. So if you want the pattern for this bowler hat that I'm making for my walrus, it'll be in the description below. I finished my bowler hat. It took a long time. I think anything kind of does when I use this 3.5mm hook, and my thingy kind of hurts. But that's okay, because that's going to be it for tonight, because it is almost my bedtime, because I have class in the morning. But I anticipated this walrus taking a few days anyway, so I'm not pressed over it. Let's see how he looks with his little hat on. I have a lot of loose threads in the middle because I did color change. I tried to do seamless color changes from the purple to the yellow, but then I didn't really care down here because it's back loops only, and I felt like that would hide it anyway, and I think it honestly did. It's very cute. That's maybe a bit low on a setting, maybe not. Oh wow, it is. I can get it very snug on there, but that comes down a bit too low. I kind of want it to be just above, maybe even a bit more, where the white starts. And like, I like having it pressed down because it makes the hat look very full and it makes him look cute. But I'm gonna stuff it with polyfill anyway to keep the shape. Last night, the only thing I didn't show you guys was I stitched the hat onto him. It looks crooked. Why does it look crooked? Okay, well that fixed it, whatever. I also think like maybe he's stuffed weird because he kind of wobbles when I sit him down. I know you can't see him right now, but I think that'll be fine. If it's a stuffing issue, I can pretty much flatten him out by just rubbing him on the table a bunch. I've been thinking about his shirt, cloak, clown suit thing for a while, like a lot this morning, and just a little bit before I started filming, I drew a template which pretty much looks like the same thing as the jacket template that I did last time, and that was because I would plan on sewing it up in the back like this, but that kind of gives us a ponytail. If it's in the back though, it wouldn't matter because it's going down him. But here's the thing about that. It needs to get bigger as it goes down because he gets wider as he goes down, especially in the back. The thing is, I want to do vertical stripes, which is why I had to draw up this pattern in the first place. Because if I did it in the round and wanted to do vertical stripes, I'd pretty much have to change color like so many times per row, depending on how wide the stripes are. Like, I was thinking of doing them 2 stitches wide, knowing that at the top it'd be 54, and I know that from the collar that I made, that would be like, what is that? That would be 27 color changes in a round? It would be even more, wouldn't it? Maybe not, but it's so many color changes, and like then I'm sure it wouldn't all line up precisely. Maybe it would because it would be flat instead of in the round, but then there would be so many loose ends to weave in that if I wove them all in, it would get super thick and weird. And if I just cut them, then there's a bunch of loose ends on the inside, which I guess, you know, a lot of people, that's not a big deal, but also it would be super annoying to make, like just thinking about it. So I was thinking of doing it going this way, so pretty much I could do like 2 rows in a color, change 2 rows, change 2 rows, and then it would be easier, and then to sew it up and make it like a cuff. But I don't know how to get the increases on it for it to go down, because the way I was thinking was if I just increase on the sides, then in the end it would get wider, but like as you can imagine, the 2 sides are slanted, they're not going to match up and make a perfect cuff. It's going to come down in the back. And on top of that, the whole scoop in the neck that there needs to be to accommodate like it needing to be lower in the front and like the same all the way around that I had issues with last time, it's just all very complicated. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna do the whole thing in yellow and then hand embroider purple stripes on, which sounds like it's a lot of work, but I think it'll be easier than having to do all the complex color changes. And if that makes his suit more yellow, then that's fine because his hat's purple. So I think it'll make a nice balance that way. With it being wider in the back, I think I might need to figure out how I'm going to do the increases and maybe put like 2 more in the back because of his tail, because it will go over his tail a tiny bit. So I'm going to figure that out. But luckily, like, it's at least a pretty short cloak because it's just going to start about here on him and go to about here, like halfway down his arm, which I think is just about 4 or 5 rows. I have finished the clown suit. I still don't know what to call it, really. But as you can see, it is just a giant ring. So I can show you how this looks on him. I think it looks pretty good. And I have not done the stripes yet. I figured I would try to figure that out next. But yeah, it kind of looks like how I figured it would. And now I haven't actually seen him with this and the frilly collar. So I'll put that on him and we'll see how it looks all together. So he is it's a bit busy. I think I just need to scooch it all down a little bit, to be honest. I almost wonder if he needs both the collar and the outfit. The outfit right now looks like a dress, but I mean, that was kind of the intention. It kind of hangs over him like a dress would. I think it looks a bit boring right now, this part where like the frill's really fun and exciting, but hopefully adding the stripes will help with that. So I've done the calculations and I think so far it's working. I've only done 3. The inside is messy, but hopefully you won't really see it. And a lot of popular media, clowns are like supposed to be these scary things, or like clowns are used to be like a scary villain sort of thing, like an It and Joker from Batman. But I never really thought clowns were scary. Apparently it's also like an American thing. Like in other countries they don't find clowns scary, which I think that's really funny and really interesting too. Like, what is it? Are clowns not that prevalent in other societies? All of this is just to say, if you're one of those people scared by clowns, I hope my little walrus guy doesn't scare you. I think he's cute and I think he's sweet. And hopefully, just because he's a clown doesn't deter you from liking him. I finally finished stitching in all of my stripes, but they they twisted. They got so twisted and they're honestly not very well done. I think all the best straight down stitches are on the back, and on the front they're all super slanted. In a way, like, that kind of reads clowny, but also the worst one is right here, where there's like a super skinny space between them. And I'm really not happy with the way that it turned out. And I'm kind of thinking, maybe, like, I know I already used a lot of yarn on this, and it took a long time to figure it out. But I'm thinking, what if I just left him with the ruffle collar, and I gave him hair, and maybe I gave him something like buttons, or just something else, because this didn't work. And I think he looks super cute with just the collar and the hat like he had. So maybe I'll give him a purple and yellow tusk and the collar, and that will be good enough, and the hair. But yeah, I don't really think I want to continue with this, which sucks because it took like 3 hours to do. I guess now I'll probably stitch down the ruffle collar because I'm sure that I want that there. I think it looks really nice. Even when I was thinking I'll probably either do the ruffle collar or this, the way that this turned out is really disappointing. So I'll probably just do the ruffle collar. At least I know how to do this now, because if anything else needs like a dress, I have the pattern for it, and the dress looks nice. Like, I like the way it looks on him, to be honest. I just don't like the way the stripes turned out. But also another thing is this, it's just too yellow. Like, it doesn't read clown. The purple and yellow should have been more even. And I just, like, I'm not good enough with embroidery to know how to make that work. And maybe I'll give him like buttons. It'd be weird for him to have buttons with no like outfit, but like a lot of clowns have buttons on them, like when I was looking at pictures, so maybe it would make sense. Or maybe I could give him like a little flower, like the ones that squirt water. But yeah, I'll just need to think of something else because I don't want to do this anymore. Okay, so I stitched on the collar, as you can see here, but I also did the tusks. I did them as purple and yellow, like I said, lighter colors than I have on the hat here. I think they look cute. The purple one is kind of bulbous for some reason and isn't keeping its shape great. I think I've got it to a position that I like, not that I love though, but you know, it's what you get. And also, like, I sewed this down first, and I completely didn't even think about the fact that once I add the tusks, it's gonna add so much like length kind of to his face. Like, it brings it down so much, and luckily I put this part low down enough that it can push it down. But if I'd done it like one row higher, it would have been like conflicting. I think something about crocheting the right way for once, like I'm doing this time around, that makes the tusks almost harder and like worse than they were when I was doing them inside out, which is really strange. I guess I might give him like a little flower to squirt water from, and maybe little orange tufts of hair, because at this point he does seem like he needs something more, like one more thing. Day 3 of Walrus. I haven't done too much on him so far. I put his little flower because I thought he needed something, and I did a French knot to get this little purple bit inside, and it's the first and only French knot I have ever done. And I have made his little tufts of hair. I don't really know what to compare them to. They kind of look like maybe little pawns, like little chess pieces, but I mean, they look like the little clown tufts that I'm going for. Let me see if I can hold him up to his head and hold him up at the same time. Oh, look at that. He looks pretty cute. Wow. So yeah, I basically just need to stuff these and sew them onto him. I think I might have sewed on his tail crooked or something, because whenever I set him down, he leans this way. You can see it. You can see it in his hat. He's going this way, like fully. And I try to flatten him out, and I think it helps, but yeah, I think I must have sewed his tail on crooked or something. The more I do, the more I don't mind that he does not have his little cloak anymore. Every time I make one of these walrus videos, I'm like, I really need a name for all these walruses. And surprise, surprise, I still don't know what I'm gonna name him. Like, I have no. I've been thinking about it this whole time. This entire time, I've been trying to come up with a name for this walrus, and consequently, the other two walruses as well. But I can't think of anything because I want them to rhyme, but at the same time, I want them to be like personalized to the month, and I just don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think there's a naming scheme that would work for what I'm trying to go for. I think I might just scrap the whole idea of them having month themed names and just try to go with a rhyming one. But even still, there's not 12 normal names that would rhyme, so I'm gonna have to think of something kind of funky that still sounds like a name enough, but also gets you that kind of rhyme, and then just assigning them which name they have will be up to me in the moment, or you guys in the comments. If you would suggest names, I'd really appreciate it, because I mean, I think I've established at this point that I am not good at making up names. I really wanted to have a naming theme by the third month, but I just straight up don't. And I really don't know. Like, I could call him like Bubbles, like a clown named Bubbles. I feel like that's a thing. Bubbles the clown. But then that doesn't make a theme. I want them to go together, which that's my downfall. Because if I just wanted them to have names in general, it wouldn't be a problem, because I could just give them names. Another thing I could do is, since the base walrus pattern that it's made off of is called Caterino or Caterino the walrus. It's an Italian name, I'm pretty sure, just by like the sound of it. So I could just give them all like Italian names, since they're based off of the original Caterino. Or I could just name them like Italian words, like whatever the Italian word for love is for the Valentine's Day one, and whatever the Italian word for green is, or like clown. But that's a bit boring. But something like that, where all their names come from the same language or culture, might be a better way to make a theme. I just finished attaching the hair, and I think that's all I'm gonna do. I think I'm considering him finished, even if he sits slanted every single time. I don't know why he's doing that. Are you guys ready to see him? Ba-ba-da-ba. He is very cute. He came out really good. I mean, I'm still not sure if this was the best choice for the tusks, but I don't know what else I would have done. Maybe orange, but that would have been weird, because then it's like, are his tusks made of hair? I don't know, but I think he came out really good. Like, I like the way his hair looks. I like the color. I don't even miss that he doesn't have this thing that we're not going to talk about, because it turned out really bad. But I am really pleased with him. Like, I kind of knew I would be, because I was pretty much pleased with him as soon as the nose went on, which was like the first thing I did. And then like this went on, and it was like, wow, it's really coming together. He was super cute ever since then. I just feel like my walruses keep getting cuter, or maybe it's just that every time I do one of these, I just remember how cute this pattern is and how much I love the walrus. So let me go get the other two, and we can look at them all together. Let's see if I can hold them all. Oh, I can. Oh, this is gonna start getting real hard in the coming months, but look at them all together. I mean, this isn't their order, but I want to have the new guy in the middle. They're very cute. I'm really pleased with how these projects are coming together. Like, wow. And also, I feel like they keep getting smaller. And next month is May? Yeah, next month's May. And I don't know anything that happens in May. I know there's Cinco de Mayo, but I don't want to make a walrus that's just wearing like Mexican clothes, because that seems like a little stereotypy, and I don't want to do that. And then I know there's Mother's Day, but I've already established that they're all boys, and even if I didn't establish that, I feel like it'd be hard to make a walrus look like a mom. So I don't really know what there is in May. Maybe I'll do something like graduation. If you guys have any ideas of holidays in May or things I could play off of, leave them in the comments. Maybe I could just do something like just general spring, even though April's more spring, but whatever. We'll figure it out when we get to May. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of my April Fool's Day walrus, and just in general, all the walruses. I think they're turning out really good. If you guys have any suggestion for a naming theme that I could use for these guys, or just any name that you have a suggestion for, I will gladly take it. But yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe for more crochet and DIY based content, and I'll see you guys next week.